people, they worry so much about what other people think about them. But if you know that something makes you happy and then you do it, I mean, I think we should all get to a point where we enjoy our own company and we embrace happiness as it hits us and enjoy it and be grateful for it and be excited. You should write, direct, and produce your own life. I mean, is there still a lot of corruption going on? I mean, is there still a lot of bad stuff happening in Africa? Because I always hear stories about Africa being just so wildly corrupt. Because I think the United States gives a decent amount of money to Africa just to help, and it seems like that's been a long time. Are there changes over there, or is it it's just the way it is?
I think that there are changes, and it's a country by country, administration by administration, situation. I mean, I think it's similar to many places in the world. How much corruption exists, it depends on who is in power at the time. But yes, is there corruption? Sure, there's corruption in our country too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we're finding out a whole lot of corruption going on, a lot of stealing of our tax dollars. Mount Kilimanjaro, you did that twice. Yeah. So what did that teach you about yourself that therapy couldn't?
To break it down, that you can do anything if you make the pieces small enough. So when I did Kilimanjaro the first time, I had just finished doing a show for the History Channel called Expedition Africa, where I took 4 modern day explorers retracing Henry Morton Stanley's journey to find Dr. Livingstone in the 1870s. So I spent a lot of time in Tanzania. I spent a lot of time on roads. I spent a lot of time watching 4 modern day explorers walking. And I got it into my head that, well, Kilimanjaro's here, why not? And one of the explorers was a 7th summiter. So he was able to make arrangements for him, my director of photography, and myself to climb Kilimanjaro with a guide. And when I was at the base of Kilimanjaro, I looked up and I thought, oh my God, what did I just get myself into? I had never climbed a mountain. I had no idea how I would fare at altitude, because you can get altitude sickness. And I'm also a little afraid of heights. So as I was walking, the only thing I could do to not freak myself out was not look at the mountain. I consciously would not allow myself to look at the summit. And I would just put one foot in front of another foot, in front of another foot. I would watch the feet in front of me. And there is a Greek saying that my mother, I grew up with from my mother, which was being by being fills the bag. And I kept thinking about that as just one step is a bean that's filling the bag. And then I got eventually to the summit, and I just burst into tears because I didn't think I could do it. So I showed myself that I could do something having no experience and succeed. And I took that forward into many things that I went on to do afterwards. And that was actually the first trip I did with my Sojourn Explorers travel company.
It's a wonderful piece of advice for anybody in life, right? I mean, just one foot in front of the other, you just get up and you just do it. And then you get up and you do it again, and you get up and you do it again. And you just don't stop until you get to where you want to go. That's it. That's all you can do is all you can do. And all you can do is enough. Right. So, what was there ever, cause you've traveled so many places and you've done so many things. I mean, was there ever lonely moments? I mean, does it ever get lonely sometimes traveling?
That's the thing about loneliness. For me, I don't really feel it. And I remember as a kid, my father telling me, and I didn't understand at the time, I'm never bored. And I'm like, how could you never be bored? And it wasn't until I went on in life, I don't feel lonely and I don't feel bored. I'm sure there are flickers of that, but that's not something that I experience. I actually spend a lot of time on my own. I travel by myself. I live by myself. I take myself to dinner. I take myself to the movies. I go hiking by myself. I do a lot of things solo. And I have come to enjoy my own company. And I have so many things that I am interested in doing that it keeps me occupied. It keeps me my container full. So that's kind of a hard one to answer because it's not something I really feel.
No, I think that you have mastered a lot of your emotions. So I think it is. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, people, they worry so much about what other people think about them. And through my years in business and through, I've been called cold. I've been called somebody that's not a sensitive person. I've been called mean. I'm a coach. I coach agents and I coach my teams. I've done it for 30 years now. And so there is a level of maturity that you get to, or maybe just self-reflection or self-understanding, whatever, that you get to a point where you're like, I don't care what you think about me. I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it. I know my intentions are pure. And so I think that you have mastered a lot of your emotions because I think you know what makes you happy. And if doing things on your own or being on your own or experiencing things on your own, if they make you happy, doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it with other people too. But if you know that something makes you happy and then you do it, well, then you're just enjoying it now and you're enjoying the experience and you're happy in that moment, in that experience. So good for you. I mean, that's, I think, a great way to live where, you're okay, you're okay with yourself and you enjoy your own company. I mean, I think we should all get to a point where we enjoy our own company and we embrace happiness as it hits us and enjoy it and be grateful for it and be excited that we have these opportunities and these chances to be happy. So because you do talk about, you should write, direct, and produce your own life. That should be what we're focused on. Do you ever get tired of doing it all on your own sometimes?
Heck yes. And just to address emotions, while I may have a good handle on my emotions and I have the emotional tools to help me navigate challenges, at the end of the day, I'm human. Do I get mad and upset about things? Yes, I do. My ethnicity, and I say this affectionately with a certain element of truth because that's the way I grew up. I'm Greek. We're a very emotive, emotional, group of people. I say Greeks, and again, I'm reflecting my family and what I grew up with. We live at the top of our lungs and the end of our nerves. However, it's managing that and learning to, but I still spiral out. And I think the difference of my spiraling out or maybe not being as stellar in my behavior is that I don't hang on to it. I don't stay there as long. I move through it much more quickly, and I have clearer boundaries.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.